Welcome, welcome, welcome to Tea Time with Kitty. As you can see, I have my green tea. I have on my green for St. Patrick's Day. So I'm just going to give and respond to this text and give people a few more minutes to join. See. Okay. So thumbs up if you have your green on. Do anybody else have their green on with me today? If you don't have no green, do you have some green tea? Okay, someone gave me the thumbs up. So who's this that has their green on? Let's see. Can you just chat in the box who you are if you have your green on today? And we're going to just get started in one more second. I do want to know who have their green on, and I want to know who's on here with me today. I did want to let you all know, first and foremost, if you send me email to parthenia302 at gmail.com, in the subject, please make sure you include tea time. So please make sure you include tea time, because I had got a lot of response, and when I filtered to it, I didn't know that I had them there. So I did get to go and view those, and it was a lot of great responses. I'm so thankful that you all are giving me feedback. That really means a lot. So today we're going to talk about not knowing what to say out your mouth. Okay. And I'm really going to need your support and your feedback, because I'm hoping that someone will be delivered today. But hold on, I forgot to tell y'all. Did anybody notice anything new about me? Look at this. You see that? Sarita did them edges and laid them down. So all of my sister locks are now out in the front, all around the edges. I definitely had to let you all know that. So you can see it's all good hairs laid down. The rest of them I braided up. Not sure what I'm going to do with it for my birthday yet, but this is a start. So I got them out. I'm going to wait about 6 months before I get them back in and kind of go from there. So talking about not knowing what to say out of your mouth. So this is very important to me, because I feel like I'm in a phase of my life where if you used to say something to me, you could get kind of like a negative response, and I would kind of go back and forth with you. But now I'm kind of like passive with it. Some things I'll just kind of like let slide. But I wanted to do this today to let people know how unacceptable it is for you to just say certain things out of your mouth to offend people when you purposely know what you're doing. Let's see. Dayon, if you are on with me, can you go in the chat box? I'm just trying to make sure that the chat box is up, so that I can make sure I'm able to see your responses. So if you can put something in the chat box, because I definitely want to hear feedback from this. And I'm here by myself today trying to make sure I have everything going right. So let's see. Okay, so I was raised by a mother who always said anything out of her mouth. Like, some people found it funny. I learned to adapt to it real quickly, and I pretty much came from a family where people tend to say anything out of their mouth. But I knew that I didn't want to be that type of parent, because I think that it's very unfair. It's very hurtful. Even though sometimes people may not say that you hurt their feelings, or they may not right away tell you, but things impact people. So one of the things that impact me, and I was able to communicate it back to the person, is that I had made a post on Facebook, and I can't remember what the post was. And y'all know I'm working on being honest and saying what I feel or don't feel. And I had made a comment, and I was like, first of all, I made a joking comment about me getting all these stimulus checks for all these kids. That's all everybody knows is grown. So it was just a whole little joke. But then I went in to make a comment and I was like, I don't know if my kid's too old or if I make too much money. But I know I ain't getting no stimulus. So someone commented and was like, DC government employees don't make no money on my status. And it's someone that, close, so no hard, ill feelings or whatever. But it just tells you that sometimes people just don't know what to say out of their mouth. So I had to kind of like process that and really kind of like get an understanding because for one, 9 times out of 10, I probably make more than a person. But then on another note, this is not the time where we should even really be pulling income. And two, like sometimes people had one really good job that closed maybe due to COVID, so they may have to start working somewhere else that may not pay them what they were used to making. But either way, you have to do what you got to do. So we've all worked jobs that doesn't pay us the money that we should be making, and or treating us the way that we should, but we have to push through as parents, as part of families, whether it's one income or two, to kind of like do what we have to do as an adult and to be responsible. So I just want to hear from you all. I don't see, give me 1 second, let me just see if I can FaceTime Dayon to make sure I got my chat up, because I definitely want to give feedback. Let me just see if I have this on right. So Dayon, while I'm getting that together, if you could just FaceTime me, because I didn't see the chat box come up. And this is the first time that I'm actually doing it by myself. So I don't want to hit a button and it don't be the right button. So let's see. Because I definitely want to hear you all's take on that. So let me try something else. Hold on 1 second. Just trying to figure out things on my own as we go along. Okay. So I just want to kind of like get your take on it. With people not knowing what to say out their mouth. Like, have you ever had any situations where it wasn't a hard thing, because there's no situation like was bad enough to make you not speaking to someone or loving on someone, but have you just ever been in a situation where you find people just try to secretly sneak this, or what do they say, throw shade at you or something of that nature? And just talk about like how it made you feel, or what is your takes on that. So if you can't log in to make your response, if you could just make sure you send it to me, text it to me at 202-758-8941. Again, that's 202-758-8941, because I really want to hear your take on it. So I make sure I remain nice, and I kind of went back and I read it. Then I made some comments down the line to, kind of catch up. But I know one of the things I did tell the person is that the comment wasn't nice. So, like, are you comfortable with telling people when you don't like something, when someone doesn't know what to say out of their mouth, or are you the type of person that just kind of like lets it go and then find yourself not wanting to interact with that person anymore or deal with that person anymore? Because of how something made you feel. Like, I'm just trying to like, or maybe you all can give me insight on how I should look at it a little differently. Because people do have a tendency of saying, oh, I was just playing. But when is just playing not okay? Like, when is that just not something that you do because it's just not appropriate? Like, because I honestly feel like the way that I may play with someone in person, I wouldn't play with them that same way on social media. So I want to hear that as well. If you can give some feedback in a bar as it relates to that, or again, you can send it to me by text message. So hold on, let me just open this up. And I'm just going to paste this chat in here. Okay, so someone responded that they think that people do it just to be mean and funny. Okay, and that's what I kind of took from it as well. I think that people have a way of just maybe wanting to say something, but they may figure that if they put it in if they put it into a funny tone, that it's okay. So someone else says sometimes I may let it slide. Okay, so when you say talking about letting it slide, so you do catch it basically. So you're basically saying that you do catch it, but you just pretty much let it slide, like even if you know that it is shade. Is that right? Okay. Okay, so let's see what else we have here. Um, Okay, so and if you all can continue just to send the text, I'm not sure why the chat is not opening up, but I'm looking for some more examples. I want to drink a little bit of tea as to what make people do that. Like what is the reason behind it? Like, or if you're somebody that do it, maybe you can share that you do it because you're just playing. So I definitely would like to hear a little bit more of that. I should have had my tea in a green, even though I got green tea. I should have had it in a green cup today. And I forgot to apologize last week as well. The system went out yesterday, and I did get back in, and some persons were able to join me back in. And while I'm waiting for the others to join in as well. And I have some more questions coming in. I'm going to respond to those in just a second. And I'm going to go back over some more questions. Okay. I sometimes unwillingly offend people with my humor. Really, no shade intended. We all have different sense of humor. Yeah, and anyone that knows me know that I am definitely a playful type person. And I definitely like to play. I just have I guess it's just certain things that I wouldn't do on social media per se. Like, but I am one definitely a human. So like I am definitely one that will laugh and play along with you. Someone else stated, I believe is really behind mean words of jokes. Sometimes it's hidden shade, envy, or one second. I experienced that with a family member, and I responded in a calm manner, but educated my aunt at the same time. So someone said they had, and speaking of that being an aunt, I had an aunt that used to do that to me all the time. Like most of you all know that I was like a young mom, like a really young mom, and whenever she would introduce me to people, that's how she would introduce me. Like we weren't close, we hardly interact. So if I seen her on any given day at any given place, she'd be like, "Oh, this my niece, the one who had her baby real young. I was telling you about." And it wasn't in any positive form at all. It was all negative, because that's the type of person she is. So one day she did it. We were somewhere. And of course, like even though she's a piece of work, I don't believe in disrespecting people, especially someone in your family, because she's still my aunt. And she started to tell a story, and I said, "But make sure you finish the story." I said, "Let them know that this is also the niece who had her child young that raised your children." And went on and gave her a few other examples of what I've done for her and her kids. And she doesn't address me that way anymore. She doesn't introduce me that way. So I don't know if she don't want her part of the story being shared, but I do believe sometimes you just have to respectfully, that's what I'm looking for, respectfully check people. And I'm going to look at some more of these things here. Sense of humor, that's definitely true. Some people just jealous and have low self-esteem and want to fit in. I definitely agree with that. Um, Yes. So someone else said, yeah, they definitely did peep when someone's doing that. So I'm going to wrap this up because I definitely appreciate you all helping me, because whenever there's something that's placed on me, so that I'll be fair and understand, I'm going to always present it to the group, because again, this group is therapy for me. Like as well as I'm giving something, the goal of it is to be able to take something back in. So I definitely appreciate you all giving me feedback, because it definitely helps, because sometimes if we don't talk about things, someone could have said something and offended you, and you hold a grudge against that person, and you go years without speaking to this person, when really it's sometimes just a misunderstanding. And like I said, and this is somebody that I truly like, I've known a lot of my life, we're really cool, but I definitely wanted to show, present this, because it's one way that we sometimes stop speaking to people and have a whole bunch of misunderstandings, because sometimes people just don't know what to say. And I honestly know that I was that way. I definitely was that person growing up, because like I said, I came from a mom who did it. I came from a family who did it. And I know that when my mom first said that I could speak to more than about anybody, her reason for doing it was from a negative aspect. So sometimes people do it from more of a positive realm, or really just playing, but sometimes people are negative. And I know that my mom used to be really negative when she would do it, and when I got older, I was able to respectfully help her with that. Like, hey mom, you ain't had to say that. Mom, you didn't have to do that. Why you say? Because sometimes you have to communicate to people, because even if someone has been doing something for a long time, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's right. And if you're not doing something to make people feel good, or to lift up, or to elevate, you really need to revisit that energy and rechannel that energy anyway. So the next thing I'm going to talk about, and please let me just say again, please send text to my phone. You all are my family, my friends, people that I love, most supportive. So I'm still trying to get this YouTube down. I don't know why it's not chatting. This is when kids come in handy, but I'm not going to let anything deter me from what my focus is. And that's to get something to you all, and you all to get something to me. So if you could send me the topics or what you want to share, your responses to my phone, and then I could just read them. I'm not going to share the name or who it's from. I'm just going to kind of read it and throw it out there. So the next thing I want to talk about is STEMI. Um, as you know, again, people say and do anything. So I know there has been a lot of jokes around stimulus. And some of the jokes, I know one thing that was on the radio station. So let me share that first. The lady had called into the radio station, and she stated that her and her husband makes too much money, that they're not eligible for stimulus. So she's mad that people are getting the stimulus checks. She said that the people that get the stimulus checks are people that don't work and don't what did she say? They don't work and they're not doing anything with themselves, and they get to collect all these stimulus checks. And she said all they do is go buy crabs and go buy TVs. And it's so funny because when I wrote about Best Buy, somebody was bringing a big TV out. But so that's her take on it. She just feel like people just buy crabs and they just buy TVs, and they haven't worked, they haven't earned it. And she says she is an essential worker, so she feel like she has to go to work, everything, and she's not entitled. So when I first heard it, I thought it was we think everything is somebody hating. I'm like, oh, how's she gonna be mad? But when she came in a little bit and stated all that she had to say, it started to make sense to me. So one thing that I feel like that the government has not done, and they should have, is give some money to those people who did not have an option to stay at home. So meaning that I'm considered essential, and there's probably a lot of people on having tea with me today that's essential as well. But we're essential, but we can still do the bulk of our job from home. But then you got essential people that don't get the luxury of being at home, so they actually have to go to work. So you got your firefighters, you got your police officers, you got your doctors, you have Metro Access drivers, Metro. You have so many people, and they're like heroes to me because they've kept everything up and running throughout this pandemic. So I feel like the government should have, like, I'm definitely not against people not getting stimulus, because I feel like everybody needs it. Like everybody electric bill is high right now, gas bill, water bill. So I feel like everybody needs it. So I haven't got one yet, but I'm still going to be optimistic about it, because if they go off 2019, which some people have stated, I wasn't over 80, or maybe, yeah, I don't think I was over 80 in 2019. So I'm hoping that I meet the cut, because I could use that money, with kids in the house and we home all day. And, like, I know, like, for myself, I don't know, I know my sister job gave them a little small token to help with utilities. But I know with my job, although you're thankful to be working, but you're also using your own electricity. So Dayon works some days from home. So she's the days that she's not in the office, she's using electricity. I'm 100% telework. The kids are 100% school, doing virtual school. So you're talking about six. And then if Nala's over here, she gotta have an iPad to act like she's at school too. So you're talking about 6 to 7 people on just laptop devices by itself pulling electricity. So I think that is extremely expensive, and I wish that everyone would have gotten. Okay, so as an essential healthcare worker, we were giving a heroes pay stipend back in the summer. Okay, I didn't know about that. Okay, so basically someone just stated that they were given a hero stipend back in the summer. I didn't get one, so I know that DC government did give us a oh gosh, I don't know what the name of that was, but we were getting like a little extra money, but I didn't get a hero check. So I guess I need to reach out to like Carlton. I need to reach out to Trey, and I need to reach out to a few more people, because okay, so the person I said, I'm not using any names, you know who you are. They just sent me the text. You're in Maryland though, right? Are you in DC or Maryland working? Are you working in? Okay, so I'm just trying to see if she works in DC or Maryland. So, or if you could respond and let me know if everyone got it. So, like, as long as you was going to work every day, you were able to get it. So let me just see what her response. But the money came from my okay. So this particular money came from, so she's in Maryland, and it came from her the money came from her organization, so they actually paid them there. So I know DC government did something like that. They actually, okay, so a firefighter just chimed in and stated that they gave VA firefighters, hold on, they gave VA firefighters $4 extra an hour. Okay, okay. And then my Comcast employee, if you could just chime in, I know Comcast was doing something for their employees. So what DC government did for us was they gave us 40 hours of leave. And oh gosh, if Karen or Flood or Mika could chime in and tell me what the name of it was. Okay. So I have a post office worker that just came in, and he said the post office gave them nothing. Oh my gosh. Oh, and we wonder why our mail is so late. So a postal employee stated that the post office gave them nothing. And I would like to think that their job is very important. So that's amazing. The person from Comcast stated that they're essential. So Comcast is considered essential, and they got 40 hours of PTO last year. And someone else is responding that they got, oh, okay. So, and also 25% raise for 3 months. Okay, so I like that. So the person, one of the persons that's sipping tea with me today works for Comcast, and they received 25% raise for 3 months. And that, I know that definitely had to be seen in a check. That really sounds good. And that $4 an hour for the VA firefighter, that's just so mind-boggling that the post office didn't give out anything. We also got to keep our user loose. Okay, so that's another thing DC government did as well. I think we can carry over. I think we can carry over like 260 or something like that. 240, I think it is, that we can carry over. But they allow us to carry whatever we have over. So that was great as well. So if you all could just chime into me how you feel about the STEMI. Like, I want to hear from a few people who actually got the STEMI and how important it was. And I also want to hear from people that did not get it. I hope that you get it like me later down the line. But I want to hear from some of you all. So if you could just shoot me a text at 202-758-8941. an apprentice and a $70 per month for internet. Now that's awesome. $75 per month for internet. That's great. Oh yeah, that was really great. Okay. Was it so for the law office person with the $70 per month? How long was that for? Did they give it to you for 6 months, for 3 months, or is it still going on as long as you're working from home? And I definitely like the fact that they gave you $500 for office equipment, because I definitely could use a new chair. What I just went through recently with my back, so I definitely could utilize a new chair. So that's great. So a little bit about the STEMI, because we'll be wrapping up soon. Let's see. It's going on it's going on for them as long as they're working from home. So that's definitely great. That's a great firm to be working for. $75 a month, like that's great. So I definitely want to hear from a few people. Text me at 202-758-8941. I want to hear from a few people that got the stimulus. And you appreciate it. Like, what did it help you with? And then I want to hear from some people that did not get the stimulus. And I want to know, how do you feel about not being able to get it? Because I'm just thinking, like, I think the cap was 80,000, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm just thinking, like, 80,000. So if someone made 79,000 and someone else made 81,000, the 79 person with the $79,000, they will get it. But the 81,000 didn't, and that's a very low difference. I know you have to cut it off at some point, but again, this is just my view and opinion. And I know that has to be really difficult, because even though, and let me just say that for some of us who's not getting the stimulus, so that the government can hear us and this can get out and they can give us something too. One of the things that I want to say is, people that have higher income have higher bills. So I think everybody should have gotten it, because you may be someone who makes 70,000 and your mortgage may be 1,200. You may be somebody that makes $100,000 a year, but your mortgage may be 3,000. So I just feel like sometimes with the more income we make, the more expenses we accumulate. So I think that's one of the reasons why I just feel like everyone should have got it. Okay, so someone said it helped a lot because I could save more and invest more. So that is great. So this particular person, who's a fairly new parent, said that it definitely helps, to help with the cost of the extra household expenses, as well as being able to save and invest. That's very important. Is there anyone else who did not get? I know it's just not me who didn't get the stimulus. I know there has to be someone else that did not get their stimulus as of yet. And you're thinking like myself that it's because of your income. And how do you really feel about that? Okay. Yeah, because I really want to hear how you feel about it, especially if you're working. Okay, so someone said, I did not get the stimulus, and I feel as though the working class should be. Hold on. I did not get this, and I feel as though the working class should be able to get a stimulus. I feel as though it is sanctioned towards people with lower income. I agree with higher income, higher bills. All Americans should be able to get a check. Yes, I honestly feel like all of us should be able to get something. Like, all of us truly should be able to get something. Because again, more money we make, the more bills. It could be your car note, it could be more utilities. Okay. I didn't get it, but I'm cool. I would turn that extra, but I wouldn't turn that extra money down. Okay, so this person said they didn't get it. So I guess that I am embracing myself to be cool with it, but I really don't want to be cool with it, because even though my kids are grown, I like to pretend like I still have a lot of kids. So even though they're all not here, I like to mentally think that, like, I still have 7 kids. And since y'all didn't give it to me when Pookie, Ronita, and Yanni and was 5 and 6, I want it right now. Like, I wish I could literally get like a stimulus check for all 7 of my kids. I don't care about them being grown. I just wish that I could have gotten it. Like some of us who have a lot of children, but we our kids are grown now, and they should go back and give us some. I know it's here or there, it ain't got nothing to do with it. Okay. So someone else said, I didn't get it. We all should get a check. Yes, because some of us are doing better than, but some of us are doing better than others. Right. Okay, so basically it wouldn't upset. Okay, so this person is saying that it wouldn't upset them that they didn't get it, but it definitely would help with utilities. Like it definitely would help with utilities. So, someone else said when this pandemic started, people lost their jobs. I think everybody should get the stimulus regardless of their income, because before the stimulus, unemployment started kicking in. Some people had to help their families and lost their jobs. Right. So people took on all different types of roles. And that's a really good point. This person just pointed out. This is a federal government employee. And it's a really good point today, because some of us, even though it looks like we make a lot of money, but we may have to help out with people that we didn't have to previously help out and support with. So that's a really good point. Like if you had a family member that may have lost their job, even though your income to save, you're not going to let your brother or your sister be without something. Someone else said, absolutely, my water bill is $500. So wow, that's amazing. So it's time for me to get ready to wrap up. I do want to let you all know that next week we will have a guest joining us, Dr. Tamika Greenwood, and she will be talking about various types of medical. I know she's talking about diabetes. I believe it's depression. There's a whole list of things that she'll be talking about. So we'll be sipping tea together next Wednesday at 5:11. Please try to chime in. Do not forget that if you have something that you want discussed on Tea Time, please get it out to me by email, by phone. Send me the information so that we can discuss it, because what's important to you will be at least important to one other person. That's me. And with it being important to me and you, it definitely will be important to someone else. So for now, I just want to say thank you all for so much. I'm so thankful that I got through today. I was really nervous being by myself trying to do this YouTube. But most importantly, thank you so much for sipping with a sister.